You may notice that the nomenclature on this particular filter is in Hebrew, while in many cases you may find it in German, and in some cases either Arabic or English. Either way, these filters were all made by the same companies in Germany, in Europe, and Israel, for the most part, does not make its own chemical warfare protection technology. It's all done overseas. A very special industry. It is important to remember that this filter is a full NBC, nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare protection system. While the filters may be reduced in life because of new chemicals that are brought into the battlefield and new biological agents, this filter is still effective for a set period of time, either plus or minus its original designation, depending entirely upon the attitude and also the density of whatever agent or chemical technology is being employed. The particular frame you see here is designed to maintain the structure of the mask while it's in storage, and yes, can be left in the bag, inside the mask, in the bag, during storage prior to combat operations. Another piece that is provided in the system is, of course, a drinking apparatus. Now, it will be noted when you try to fit this on a standard U.S. canteen, it won't fit. It is designed around a standard German and or British canteen system, which is popular in Europe but not seen very often in the United States. So you do have to shop around to find a system that will mate with this. Again, it is new. Maintain it with the equipment. You never know what it is you're going to find on the battlefield, so if you don't have it right now, you may still have it in the future. Again, the important thing to remember is at least you have the technology to get out of a situation or to protect you from conventional chemical agents. It is not as likely as most people would like to think that we're going to see heavy biological. Unfortunately for both sides, biological will kill both sides. And even with some precautions that are taken, it is more likely you're going to see, as with the Branch Davidian situation, heavy chemical agents used. Phosgene, mustard gas, CSCN. In whatever configuration or forms, this mask is more than adequate for the technology you're going to face. Also, it will offer some protection against radiological contamination because with the filter in place, the filter will block and load a specific amount of particulates of, say, a radioactive material that is transferred with other dust particles, etc. The filter can be discarded and, of course, buried or disposed of, but it will offer some protection. Obviously, it's not going to protect you from any radioactivity, but it will eliminate some of the possibility of ingestion through the respiratory tract. One of the other considerations, and this is another option, is a hose. This particular system is an adapter. It was made for the Russian chemical warfare technology. Oh, but those crafty Russians, being what they are, this particular thread system that's on their gas mask is the same as the Israeli and all NATO standard equipment. This umbilicus can be attached, and the standard filter attached to it, and you have, of course, an extension device which takes the filter away from the front of the face, and the filter can be stationed in another location or inside the gas mask bag itself when worn in a high carry system to the left of the body. There are different advantages to this, and obviously, not the least of which is filter changing, which is more easily controlled with the device not sitting on the end of the face. One of the other advantages to this system is obviously the cost. These are very economical gas mask systems. They're as sophisticated as the M17 US mask presently in issue, or A1 or A2, and are as effective as most of the new systems that are online. Now, in addition to the basic gas mask and protection that we do know that it offers, even if you're not in a chemical environment, there are still other safety considerations that should be considered. Number one is eye protection. Yes, I know, OSHA will tell you all about how you basically have to have battle armor simply to use a hammer nowadays. Well, this is for another reason. On the battlefield, there are a number of projectiles, objects, and devices, not the least of which are dirt and sand, which can create a problem for you. And of course, remember, you're a long way from assistance. Cold wind in extreme cold weather. Warm wind or sand and dust in extreme hot weather. And of course, simple wind protection during almost any other types of environmental conditions, including rain. And so it is very desirable that you acquire a combat goggle of some type. Again, at your discretion, with the amount of money or resources you have available, you can choose a basic system. But again, they're simple to stow, very desirable for long-term use, and again, history has proven that they do serve a purpose. One other thing, and again, we're not selling a certain company here or anything like that, but ear protection is important. Many of the weapon systems that we've shown do create a noise peak or hypersonic crack which is detrimental to hearing. Now trust me, when you pull the trigger on that weapon, somebody's going to know where you are. So as far as worrying about hearing what's around you, unfortunately, if you've ever fired a weapon, you do know that it affects the hearing immediately after the first round, and your hearing is reduced dramatically. To protect against that type of injury, and also from heavy ordnance which may be used in your area, earplugs are highly recommended. Also, in a chemical warfare environment, they should be used. Remember that the ear channel is an air passage, and so whatever could normally be passed through your lungs via the mouth or the nose is also, to a limited extent, passed through the ear channel. For that reason, earplugs are very desirable. And also, another device which is not demonstrated here, but is demonstrated in other tapes and training aids, a complete hood for the gas mask is also very desirable. Safety technology is a very simple and straightforward thing to consider. Eye protection, ear protection, obviously because God only gave us so many parts, are an important issue. Well, respiratory speaks for itself. Without any kind of gas mask, how long can you hold your breath? Oops. The next point that we're going to be bringing up is the use of layering, especially with winter operations. Now, while certainly we have many different types of camouflage patterns that are available, many different systems, in this case, East German splitter pattern, or also known as rain pattern. While this is available, there are many other different patterns that may be on hand, U.S. woolen camouflage, green, such as you're seeing attached to my arm, and of course, a plethora of different systems from all over the planet. In this case, though, the East German uniforms are a very economical system, and for your non-combatants and your combatants, a very desirable way to go with regard to the purchase of quantities of equipment to keep your people in clothing. In this case, we're looking at standard weight, approximately 65-35 or 50-50 cotton polyester blend uniforms designed to give you a first layer beyond your normal insulated underwear or your conventional skivvies, as the Marines used to call them.